Okay, Filipino time.
Here we go. All right. Hey, evening, everybody. It is another night of, it is March the 19th, and we are doing a draw stream. So we're going to draw and sketch while I'm going to do a box opening.
Box opening.
Yeah. So nobody's in the chat right now, so maybe they'll jump in a few minutes and stuff. Yeah, I did my first con on the weekend.
What? Whoa. Where?
Brock. No, not Brock. I did what do you call it? Not Brock. Caledon.
Is it the pop culture one?
Yeah, the pop culture stuff.
Cool.
Oh, and how was it? On Sunday, it was pretty. It was packed, but nobody was buying.
Oh no!
It was an interesting. People. Was it Lou? Was it Lou or Lawrence? I can't pronounce his name. The cardboard guy.
Yeah, Lou.
Yeah, Lou.
Lou, right?
Yeah, Lou.
Yeah, Lou. He made a killing on Owen Sound.
Owen Sound. No
Owen
way.
Sound. That further away, right? On that was on a Saturday. Everybody made a killing on that day.
No way.
So they were kind of glad that Sunday show in Caledon was a little like people showed up, but they didn't buy. They didn't have to deal. You know what I mean? He's just like, I need to restock, but I'm kind of glad it slowed and it gave me time to rest today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get the Saturday when it's really, really busy. Then the Sunday you just you're tired, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's a 2-day show for sure.
Yeah. But this one was in a different city, right? So
right. So wait, so you're saying nobody was biting on Sunday?
Let's see. Okay, so Sunday was it called Caledon? It was Caledon, right? Or I forget what's the day of the show. Sunday was Bolton. Sorry.
Wait, there we Bolton?
Go. Bolton, yeah, which is Caledon, right? Bolton, Caledon, around there. It was the Comic-Con. It was at the recreational center. A lot of people showed up. And I couldn't sell any of my prints.
Why?
Yeah, why?
And it was 0 sales in prints because I think prints is done, right? So I did sell a lot of my sketch cards.
Oh, okay.
It's a different. I think it's a different thing now.
You mean original sketch cards?
Original sketch card, yes.
Oh, nice.
Original sketch card. So I'm getting a lot of. I think the guys that went in and bought cards are the one who sold card did a better thing. The Marvel cards, the hockey cards, the sports cards.
Yeah.
They for that time on Sunday, and also Sunday was a rainy day too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, it could have been a whole bunch of factors. Hey, Bleeker, how you doing, buddy? I definitely wouldn't buy a print. Yeah, exactly, right? And Rad's in the chat there. So for anybody who's joining in, we're just going to talk about some stuff. I got this box from Naman, who sent me a gift. And look at that, huh? He sent me a little note too. So I just cut off the tag and everything. Hey, Locke, I hope you find these books. I can't read his handwriting. Useful. There we go. I think I have too many of my lifetime. But and that's from Naman right there. Thank you, Naman. Right. So Naman sent me a bunch of sketch covers. He's got a bunch of blanks, and I'm gonna have to do something. But here's my favorite one. This is Fire and Ice from Dynamite.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. My only issue is Dynamite's covers are the worst. The paper quality are, I think the only thing I'm going to use on this is light Copic, and I probably won't be able to use water a lot. The paper will buckle and the paper will fall apart. Right. So this is a great cover. That's Fire and Ice is like, the Frank Frazettas.
Yeah.
Those kind of things.
Like the Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I got Twigs. I'm not really sure what this is about, but that looks cool. Then I got the Gunslinger Spawn. I do have this cover, but it's nice to have an extra cover, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's trimmed a little bit, but the edge you can see. Something Killing the Children. That's kind of cool. I got to add that. Oh, he's got two. I got two. Two of these ones. I'm not thrilled with these these circular but I can do some stuff around it, right? Compared to, there was the other one that I had where the trade dress was like a tear in the page that was like halfway through, and you couldn't, like, you kind of had to draw in this little space, right? So I'm okay with that. So these are great. Oh, here we go. The Batman Fix-It. I have these ones, right? I may have to do something for Nam, and I think I'll draw some stuff. I know he likes Batman. I'll draw some Superman on some of this. I know his favorite is Superman. Then Nocturnal. Have you read that? Any guys? You guys? Nocturnal? Scott Snyder.
Nocturnal. That's Noctera.
Oh, Francis here. Manipul did it. The inside. Kind of curious.
Noctera.
Manipul. Oh, it looks great.
I think that was Noctera was the created by Tony Daniels, right?
Yeah, Tony Daniel.
Daniels, yeah.
Yes.
Tony Daniel. Oh, it's the oh man. It's another one of those cards stock that I feel like it's it feels like, the Bristol board that you buy from the dollar store.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you put a drop of water on it, it will seep right through.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't mind the book.
Yeah.
It's I just got to be careful, right? Yeah, I'm definitely. I want to read some of these, but as you know, do I read it or do I just draw on it? Right. All right. And yeah, so I got two covers. So yeah, thank you, Naman. Thanks a lot, buddy, for all this. I will reciprocate by pulling a cover and doing some more artwork for you, buddy. Something you will like. So yeah, I got this. I think on Monday, Tuesday, around there, and I was just waiting to open it, and I was gonna do an unboxing video, but nah. I figure I'd do it here live on air. Okay, so the conventions. So I've been doing a lot of the. So I'm trying to see. I just reached out to the Bruce County thing.
Yes.
How was that? Do you remember?
You know what? Oh man, I hate to admit it. Because I want to try to save that for myself, but that place is such a gem. Like I don't want to that. So
that's next to Owen Sound, dude. That is out there.
Yes, it is out there.
Yes.
So I attended that last year, and I was very surprised. It was actually recommended by one of a former Spent Pencil crew. She wanted to check it out, so I said, yeah, okay, let's go. But mind you, I was kind of a little bit like I was a little bit hesitant because, like you said, it's all the way down there, right? For me, it was like honestly, it was like a 4 hour drive, right? It's almost like going to Montreal or Ottawa type thing, right? But um, honestly, it was worth the drive. It was so worth the drive. Everybody from vendors to artists, they're they were like smiling, like their smile was going from one ear to the other type thing.
Because there's not a lot of cons out in that area, right? It's like going up to Sudbury for us.
Yeah.
Every time I go to Sudbury, I do a killing. Like, so that I know I guarantee. I'm finding that because I still have a lot of prints, I might just do like a liquidation, like 2 for $15 or something like that. You know what I mean? 3 for 20 or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way I'm gonna do that. I will still have my Pikachu, my Studio Ghibli stuff that it's always selling no matter what I do.
Right.
Right? Because it is an anime thing that I think the kids buy more of.
Yeah.
When it comes to that kind of area. But yeah, the Bruce guys, I just reached out. I saw them I think July 11th.
So what did they say? Did they say that they still have room for you?
I don't know. I asked about tables.
Yeah.
And they said fill out a vendor form, but there's no pricing whatsoever.
What do you mean there's still pricing?
Like, what is the cost for a table? What is a cost for?
Oh. Okay.
There's nothing there. It's just fill out the vendor form. If you get approved, then
right.
What? And right. So that's why I asked about the pricing and everything else too, right?
The pricing last year. You want to know how much it was?
$80.
It was $25.
That's it.
That was
Might be a lot more this year. Maybe
exactly.
$40.
I'm gonna admit, and I hate to admit it, and people are gonna probably hate me. Like a lot of artists or vendors are gonna hate me, but I kind of encourage them. I go like, you know what, that $25 is too low.
Yeah, I mean, it's still.
I mean, I want them to succeed as well too. I want them to keep on going if their show is going to be always like the way it was last year. Because honestly, it was done in a sports arena.
Yep.
And the line was like circling around the building.
Yeah, I saw the little short videos they have.
Crazy.
And the whole bit, right?
The moment it opened up, it was like nonstop. Like it was just nuts.
Well, I mean, you could have like I was at Brock. It was packed. People kept coming in and out all day.
Yeah.
Right. Issue is their browser. They're not.
No,
buyers.
These ones are buyers.
That's what I mean. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like the only way I got people to buy stuff was just to pique their interest.
Right.
And one of my technique is, I got a pack of stickers for the little ones, and I try to drag the little ones over my table, right?
Right.
As long as the little one comes to the table, the parents follow. Right.
Right. I don't know. I mean, like going back to what you said about prints not selling. Now, I don't know if I can fully agree to that part because not to toot my own horn, but
yours comes in a frame.
Yeah, but that's still a print, though.
I know, but I'm not selling mine with a frame.
The novelty, yeah, it comes in a frame. But I feel like people are still willing to buy, right?
Yeah.
Like, for example, I was so last weekend, as you guys know, I was helping out Gotham.
Yeah.
In Toronto, right?
Yeah. Talk to us about that. So, for anybody who's joining us, sketch soldier Arnold here is he was down at the Toronto Comic Con run by Fan Expo. So that is a 4-day event or 3-day.
They were
Arnold?
3 days. They were 3 days.
It was Friday. Oh, I thought it was Thursday night, or is that Fan Expo in the summertime?
I can never remember because I don't really stay
So,
up that
well,
much
but
anymore.
yeah, so 3 days. You were Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay, so but also the weekend was kind of rainy and crappy, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
But
but it's also downtown. So okay,
yeah,
so how was that?
so again, I was just helping out the Gotham booth, and and again, I have a full-time job, so I couldn't really attend the full Friday because I believe Friday it started at 10 in the morning
Okay,
Mhm.
till I believe 7 o'clock in the evening. So, but I only got there around 5 o'clock, so I didn't really get a chance to set up. Like, so basically, so just think, um, when I say set up, yeah, I'm there to really just to kind of help Carlos out or Gotham Central out with like keeping an eye on their product. So,
yep, yep.
but um, for like a sort of like a trade off, Carlos would allow me to have one little space at his booth to put up some of my work, right? So I can sell them. But I never got a chance to do that on Friday because I came in too late. So I was just there, you know. So it was busy when I got in there, as usual. Like, there was a lot of people, even though late that day. And then Saturday, that's when I was able to set my work up. Um, and it was just weird. It was a weird day because there were like everybody saying this. Like it was like a roller coaster. 1 hour it was busy, then
Mhm.
it dies down. Then the next hour it goes back up, then it goes down. But then they were saying that they were letting people in at certain time, like because I think it's because they sold out that they were. I don't know if it was just the first time they've been doing or they've done this. That they were letting certain amount of people in at a certain time, and that's why when the crowd was coming in, it
Oh, it
didn't
was in
feel like it was
surge.
full. There was like fluctuations as far as like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know. So yeah, but even with that, I have to admit, like Saturday for me, well, I know people are buying stuff at Gotham, but if we're talking about my sales,
Mhm.
um, honestly, like it was good. It was really great. Like
Nice.
I moved a lot of my prints, even though for that small space, I gotta admit, like it was I had a good day. So that was Saturday, and then Sunday was like Friday. Like Friday was a lot of people. Like it was very busy. Then Saturday, I felt like Sunday was like a Saturday, like
Mhm. Really?
Saturday crowd.
You
It
know
was just
why? Because the tickets was like half the price. It was like
was it?
$25 or something like that. I
I
forget.
don't know, but it was like jammed, like the usual show where people are like just packed in, and it's like it's hard to move at times, right?
Right.
But there wasn't that like slow moment. It was just continuously like people were just jamming the aisle, right? Um, and then that one also, I was also able to move a lot of my prints that day, right? But other than that, I mean, yeah, that was the result of that show.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
nice.
so I have to, yeah, I definitely have to thank Carlos for allowing me to put my
Yeah.
stuff up. But
Mhm.
again, it's a trade off. Like I'm there to watch his product, make sure nobody's stealing it, or whatever like customer service he needs. And then also helping him, do teardowns because
Right.
we're
Yeah. Yeah.
as artists, like when we're setting up our tables, it's fairly easy for us to just put down our display, pack up all our gears into one little luggage or whatnot. But when it comes to these vendors, like for example, Gotham, they have their whole like shelves and walls and like that that they hang their products in, right? Or on. So it definitely it takes a long time to tear the booth down.
Oh yeah. I remember the lineups getting out on a Sunday alone is just nuts,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah. So yeah. So that was
That was your
my weekend, right? So that's my weekend.
you
Um.
feeling okay today? You're recovering ish still, or
Well, it's a good thing because, like, yeah, I called it. Sorry, I took a day off on Monday from work, knowing that, like, again, I'm always every time I know that I'm helping out Gotham at any shows, like even like Anime North or whatnot. Um, there's always a chance that, like, yeah, we're gonna be working late because
Yeah,
teardown,
yeah.
and so I need some sort of rest the following day.
Yeah.
So
it's just time to recruit. Exactly.
yeah, it just my only thing, it's just too bad that, like, when I don't know, this is just my little thing, like, Carlos do get like some volunteers helping out,
Hmm.
watch the stuff, but I wish some of them would have stayed and helped with the teardown.
Oh, they did.
They didn't. Oh no. Oh no.
Not all of them stays, and but no, to each their own. I mean, they have their plan, but yeah, I have some other things that I want to talk about when people grab passes to get in and
Yeah.
not help out the whole time. I don't know, I'm exposing too much here,
they yeah they're using it for their own purposes and
but yeah,
first and
Carlos is a great guy, and he does like try to accommodate. But I just feel like sometimes people, if you're gonna volunteer, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say that out loud right now. But if you're gonna volunteer at a booth and you say you're gonna volunteer, like at least give your hours. Don't
Yeah,
just
yeah.
grab the pass and take off and
Hmm.
come back just in time for you to leave in about within the hour, the time you're supposed to leave. It's like, ugh. Anyway, sorry, I had to vent that way because I'm going like, God,
no, it's good,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
good. I know, I
like
know.
it's not my booth, but like I just feel bad. I'm going like, come on, guys, like, you're already
Yeah,
you're already in.
because it's not cheap for a retailer to go to these things because they gotta move half their shop downtown and
Well, it's not just that cheap. It's like they, like, hey, you were given the opportunity to, yeah, you know what, on your break, that's when you can go, but don't take like your whole like a good chunk of your
Hmm.
volunteer time to walk around,
Yeah.
right? Anyway, sorry, I just went out because like I just feel like that's what I find sometimes. So I'm just saying,
yeah,
like,
but
guys,
you're the other stuff too is you're a nice guy, right?
well,
And
that's it. Like myself and Mike Simbahan, we volunteer,
yep.
and we know Mike and I, we commit ourselves. Like,
Hmm.
we're there
Hmm.
throughout the
Yeah.
whole period. But it's just shady that when we see other people saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna volunteer," and then they disappear. It's like, ugh. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to think, but like going back to like going back to the con, it was great. I saw a lot of people. Well, that's another thing. I try. When I'm there, like, I'm not saying like I kick off, but like say when I come in early, because obviously we have the opportunity, and we have the benefit of getting in
Like, yeah.
before the
Yeah.
crowd. That's when I take the opportunity to just walk around and see who I can see at the other booths, right? Like,
Yeah,
or other table.
yeah.
But yeah, I was able to see as many as I can. just to say hi to them, because knowing that when the door opens up, everybody's just gonna be like slammed.
Yeah,
Everybody's
busy
so
and stuff.
busy.
How was the when you got a chance to walk around, how was Artist Alley area? Was it full of new artists, or was it full of the typical people that we always see? Um and has it improved? There's more space between the aisles, or is the aisles has gotten narrower and narrower every year I go?
It's not always
You know, used to be a minimum of 6 feet. It became 4 feet every time I showed up. Now you can barely fit like one fat person like me walking down the middle. And remember
um
the parents with the strollers, even worse.
or well, not just a stroller. And then, hey, with all due respect, I love you guys, but like some of the cosplayers, when they have like their stuff are sticking out, like whatever, like costume is sticking out, and just they're turning around and they accidentally bump into your table, and they don't realize it because obviously it's just an extension of their costume, right? And that aisle is not going to accommodate them for sure,
Yep.
right? So to answer your question, it's the usual, like, yeah, it's the usual artist alley. Like it gets very tight when a good crowd of people walk through it, right? Um,
That's what discourages me all the time. I want to go in, I want to take my time looking at the 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 stuff, but I always end up like my anxiety kind of kicks in of, oh man, I really, I want to talk to so and so, but if I stand in front of his table, he ends up with like 3 feet less space, and he's trying to get, you know what I mean? Like everybody in that middle part of the aisle becomes really cram unless you're like the corner,
yeah,
right?
yeah, I hear ya. Like it's no, quite honestly, that's one of the reasons why I don't table there anymore.
Yeah.
Um, I find that people, you can't really interact well with people. Like when this is one thing I see at other shows where um I get to interact, I get to connect with the customer, and we get to chat, and but in this case, when you have a crowd of people going to that one aisle, that crowded aisle, it's very disruptive to have any conversation with anybody. And it's almost like a wave. It's like they're trying to look at your stuff, but then they're getting pushed away,
Yep.
or they have to keep moving because they know that they're just blocking. It becomes like, it gets so congested that, like, yeah, you feel like you're just blocking the aisle. There's no space for anybody to kind of like just stand there and just kind of like, yeah, just chat up with you. So yeah, so no, it I don't know how it was for the Artist Alley. Like, I can only imagine. I'm pretty sure it got tight over there, but that's also, it's not just us, the artists, but like,
Yeah.
I get that kind of feedback as well too from like the people that has come to the Gotham booth. When I ask them, "Have you walked around?" I always ask people, "Have they walked around?" They say yes, and then I'll go. Did you go to the celebrity section? Did you go to the vendors? Did you go to art? And then when it comes to the artist alley, that's their main, I guess, complaint is that
Complaints.
it gets so crowded over there that, like, they'll just like walk through it, like they'll
Yeah.
just or they know who they're looking for, and that's all who they're gonna, like, you know
Head for, yeah.
head for.
Because you do, like, I like the idea that I can explore the thing with, like, for example, if you're down at San Diego or something like that, at least the artist alley, they have the fire marshal there going through there all the time and saying, hey man, you guys got to give an extra foot or two or whatever, right?
Hmm.
Here I feel like they kind of crammed in as much people as they can, and the more people, the more artists they can get into that spot, right? And I'm finding that, at $800, or I don't know how much, $700 and something for for an artist alley table is not feasible for young artists who now needs to literally sell over $1,500, double the amount, just to make back, you know,
Right.
that space. And it's really tough, especially when you have something like The Boys, all the actors for The Boys, and
Yeah.
Supernatural there and stuff. So yeah, I heard from other artists who says, you know, they brought out all the people from The Boys and everybody all went to the autograph section. So the the booth and all that stuff became empty for a while, right? Because
Right.
you know, they brought all the stars, and that's what it become, right?
Well, you know, they
Go ahead.
do. Sorry. On that note, I believe like the celebrities definitely bring in the crowd,
Yep.
but that's basically where the crowd goes, right? It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like before. Like we always talk about, like back then, you know, people actually come for the comics. People
Yeah.
actually come for the artwork, you know, for the comic book, for the artwork and all this. But now it's become like, yeah, let's go see you know, who we can meet and spend money on, get signature from.
Yeah. I want them to spend money on my books, though. On my things, right? On my art supplies, on my, you know, at least I can have that, right?
Right.
But you know, I understand that. I mean, that's how I feel like these shows has strayed away from the the um the comic side of the thing, and it now becomes more of an entertainment
Yeah.
show. You know what I mean? I don't know about you guys, you know, in the chat and all that stuff. Comic-Con, these big Comic-Cons are fun to go to. But do you guys find that, are you guys spending most of your money on buying books as a collector, or are you spending most of your money getting autographs, chasing autographs? You know what I mean? Like, that's really what it is. Like, my daughter goes to these shows, she wants to dress up, right?
Mhm.
And she'll buy one or two items, but that is like it. You know what I mean? It's already like, you know, $65 to get in on a Saturday. Right? Then she's got to buy the overpriced food that's downstairs. You know what I mean?
Actually,
Then
you know what? Yeah, you have to go. That's the only thing. Yeah, too. Or another thing is that you have to go outside to get food, and
yeah,
fighting the crowd to get out. Ugh.
yes.
Yeah.
And even then, when you get out, trying, you know, you have to go to a restaurant, then you gotta wait for the seats, and it's usually crowded. It's usually crowded, right? They want you in and out, and yeah. That's why I like these small cons that we do with the pop culture guys.
Yes.
I like the faraway city. I like the chance to actually talk to the parents or that young kid who comes in and say, "Hey, I'm drawing comics. I'm doing this and stuff." It becomes more. That's how I build like my fan on my Instagram and stuff. Is that one-to-one interaction, even if it's like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or a few seconds at a time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
It's tougher at these big, huge convention. I find that the artist is lost.
Yeah.
In the celebrityness, I guess, in the pop cultureness. You know, like for me, I'm there, and I even notice it. I don't care. You know, I'll come say hi to you, Arnold. I'll come say hi to the raid guys. I'll come say hi to whatever they're doing, right? But
Yes.
at the same time, they seem to be busy trying to get one or two commissions out. You know what I mean? To make that $20, $30 commission, right?
Right.
And you don't really get the chance to talk to them for a long period of time unless it's like between hours or after hours or something like that. So yeah, it's a different it's a different mentality. It's different yeah.
Well, okay. I have to admit, and going back to what you again, I'm sorry, but like, yeah, going back to what you said about like the Prince. So, are you saying that My prints are only selling because it comes with a frame.
No, I'm saying that my print sale from my end, I'm finding that people like who knows my stuff has I've seen my regulars, right? They pretty much got everything that I have, I
Right,
guess, right? Or close to being it. But my 11 by 17 is like you don't have the wall for this
right,
anymore. That's really what I'm seeing at. Your stuff comes in a frame, at least you can just put it up right away. Me, I got to tell people, well, if you hit the dollar store, you'll find these $5 frame for, these 12 by 18 at the Dollarama and stuff like that, right?
right,
So I'm making them do that extra legwork just to get the
right.
picture up on the wall, right? A
And
lot of the time, if I sell a Pikachu print or a something like that, those things usually what happens is a piece of tape goes on the kid's wall, right?
right,
that,
right.
that is the extent of frames, right? There is no frame involved, right? I've never been to a con, but a late bloomer, small time collector. You are. Right. Thanks, Rocketeer. But so those are the kind of things, right? Like it's interesting how when I moved out to Los Angeles for the first time, and I'm living in Orange County. Then the first year I was out there, or summertime, or August, or something like that, or July, August, around there. I'm going on. There's something going on right now. I just can't put my finger on it, right? And this is, the internet was still there, but it wasn't. Then I saw on KTLA something. It was like, oh, Comic Con is happening. It's like, Comic Con. I forgot about that, right? Oh, I think we just lost Arnold.
Oh yeah.
I think he just either cell ran out or internet kicked out. So yeah, you run into that situation where the conventions themselves have become it was comic related. I can go there, I can look for comics, I can look for all that stuff. Then the celebrity came. The first few years it was fun. You get to see the celebrity, but the celebrities were there just to announce their next movie, right? Their
Yeah.
next sci-fi, their next stuff. Then it became a thing where Hollywood was coming, and it became bigger and bigger and bigger, the lineups and stuff like that.
Well,
But
definitely it changes now. Like changes the the way the Comic Con is now, especially with the celebrity and all that
yeah,
variety of the shows. So yeah, I think it started maybe a couple of years ago, even before pandemic. It started to be like that.
yeah. So what are you working on today? The
Oh, just
Rocketeer?
sketching. Yeah, I have
Yeah.
some blank over here, so sketching, putting some design here.
I'm working on a cover.
Oh yeah,
So I'm
I've
slowly
seen
taking.
that last week, right?
Yeah, it's this is my what do you call it? This is my relaxed time with you
Mm-hmm.
guys. Is
Oh, there's
talk about
Arnold.
shop.
Back.
Yeah,
Arnold's back.
I know. I saw him in there.
Mhm. Yeah,
Are
yeah.
you
Arnold,
guys
everything
here for
okay?
that? I don't know what happened. I do not know what happened.
Internet
Oh,
cut
you're
out.
back now.
All of a sudden, like, yeah, my computer, like, it just froze, so I had to reboot. Sorry about that.
It's okay. It's Ollie's sketch that overheated everybody.
Exactly.
Right?
Ollie's always like setting things on fire, man. Like
Yeah.
that's one thing I find about Ollie. It's like it's funny because like sometimes, speaking of that, when we had this when we used to travel with the spent crew,
Yep.
um, I'm finally letting out some stuff that like behind the scenes stuff. But one of the things that like I find funny is that so back then I used to organize where people would be sitting,
Right, yeah.
not the administrative stuff, right? For the crew. But I get email from certain members of the crew going like, don't don't sit me beside Vince, don't sit me beside Oliver, don't sit me beside Daniel. Like these guys get so intimidated, but but I don't blame them because yeah, obviously when you're sitting beside Ollie or any of these like big guns type thing, like your sales not gonna be as up there because
Yeah.
knowing that like Ollie obviously attracts a lot of people with his artwork, right? So you're kind of like left in the shadow there.
Well, it wasn't like that actually. Like especially like lately, like the one that I haven't done much convention cup, but through our experience, right, with you and Mike, us going together in a show, we we it's like we're like helping each others with the way we what we have what we um offer, right, from our prints and our like well, again, for me, most of the times just like it's my my sketches or my the commission. That's where I go get my living in convention,
Yeah,
and
but
not much in
before
my.
then, you'd have your wall of prints, and you definitely bring in the people to your table because
Yeah.
of all your like.
It's the amount of I know Ollie does a lot of detail in his stuff.
Yes.
I'm lazy at that. I will not, if I could use a blurry brush in the background, I would use a blurry brush in the background.
Uh-huh.
Right? If there's a hint that there's a chair there, I can just do enough shadow to make a chair there. I am not doing what Oliver does, where he draws individual nail holes and cracks in the chair and all the other stuff that,
But you know
like,
what? As a consumer or like or as a fan of art, like I get I can relate to what these guys are seeing from Ollie's work because
yep.
I love obviously we all love the detailed work.
Well,
When
it feels like you're getting
That's
more.
right.
It
Yeah.
does it not? Does it feel like you're getting more for what it is?
right. So on that note, this is why sometimes I kind of like I'm hesitant to get a commission from certain artists.
Mm-hmm.
Because they'll charge accordingly, obviously
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just find even some of the professionals when they give you a sketch, they give you like a chicken scratch, and you're spending over $100 for that
Right.
chicken
Yeah.
scratch. And I'm
Yep.
going I follow your work based on like the pencil that I see that you produce, when I see your work on a magazine or what not, right? But when I'm paying like over $100, I'd like you to put some details in that commission, right? And I think that's what Ollie delivers. So that's why people are happy with Oliver's. He put that much effort into into the work.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah, see? So I guess the only way we can beat Ollie is through price and quantity. Right? Right, Arnold? Right? Look, dude, you can spend $200 on his sketch card or come to us, spend $200 and you can get 50 prints and we can fill up the entire room for you. Look,
Well,
Oliver doesn't need anything. He's skinny as it is. He doesn't eat, so we need to eat. We're the fat guy.
oh my gosh. But no, you know what? The funny thing is, I've had commission done. So as you guys know, my favorite artist is Ivan Reese, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
I believe the correct pronunciation is Yvonne Hayes. That's what I've been
Okay.
learning. Yvonne Hayes, I believe. Anyway,
So,
so I believe I paid $150 US for a pencil sketch, and honestly, like what he produced was worth
Mhm.
that,
Yeah.
right?
yeah,
So
like
I don't mind. Yeah, again, if I had the money, I don't mind spending the money. But my gosh, like I find sometimes when it, you guys get those sketchbooks, right? That people ask you to do commissions in, right? And you see other
Yeah.
artists working there,
Right.
right? And then I flip through them, and some of them are, yeah, they're really amazing and all this, but there's some that are just quick, like literally just quick sketch. And
Yeah.
I'm curious to know how much
They
that
pay.
artist
Yeah.
charges you.
so. Rocketeer asked, "Lock, do you ever sign work on the front of your works?" Yeah. Depending on what it is. Some people want me to sign it in the front. Some people in the back. I always ask the person if they want me to sign the front or something like that. On a sketch card, there's not a lot of room. If I'm doing Ollie, you don't sign the front of your sketch card, do you?
There are times when I signed, but I just put like the name, my name, Ollie.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like that, and the year. So it's just like that. That's just. But I signed the back most most of
Yeah.
the.
On a
Yeah.
sketch card, we usually sign on the back because
Mm-hmm.
the front
Yeah.
part we try to leave for a lot of art. What about
Yeah.
you, Arnold? When you
What
do a
about me?
sketch card? When
Oh,
you
I
do a
don't.
sketch card, yeah.
I don't
Sign the
really do
front or back?
sketch cards. I don't really do sketch cards, but like no, well, for the sketch card that I've done,
Mm-hmm.
I sign it at the front, but I'm trying to believe that I should really sign it in the back because it's intrusive to because it's such a small space, right? And
Yeah. Yeah.
so I guess if I ever was asked to do another sketch card, I would sign it in the back just so
Yeah. Yeah.
that's me. That's
Cap,
how
who
I.
in Toronto Comic Con, who are other artists that you've seen, like our like friends artists, like from either from Spam Pencils or from
Oh, again, I didn't really get a chance to walk
not
around,
much.
but
Yeah.
as much as I would have.
Yeah.
But I went to go visit. I went to go visit Surge.
Okay. Yeah.
I went to see Becca.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Was she was in the raid section though, no?
no, she wasn't, but she was at the pro section, right? Um, oh, why am I? There's one other artist like he's a cool guy. Why am I forgetting his name? But
George?
I'm sorry,
Did you see George?
George who?
Taka. I can't
No, I
pronounce.
didn't get a chance to. I didn't get a chance to see him. I saw RB, but RB actually was walking down the aisle, so that was
Yeah, he's barely at his table. He usually walks around for a while.
yeah,
Right? He lets his wife does all the sale unless she wasn't there.
yeah. I'm still trying to remember who. Honestly, I didn't really give myself too much of a chance to to walk around
Mm-hmm.
because again, as I said earlier, like I'm there to help out Gotham.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Right.
So I only allow myself when if I can get to the convention early before it opens up, then that's what I do. Like I'll walk around and just try to say hi to people, right? Oh, I saw Shane Kirschenblatt. I don't know if you guys know him.
Yeah. Oh.
So he was there tailing at pro table. Yeah, I would have loved to see like more people, like you said, like George, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, but you were working though. That's a different thing.
Well, that's it, right? Like I was working, like you said. So, yeah. So no, yeah, I didn't really see much. I didn't see too many people. I wish I would have seen what's his name, Andrew Hahn. I don't know if you guys know him.
Yeah. Didn't he have a new book or something?
Yeah,
I forget.
he put out a new book, which yeah, that was my goal to get that book from him. Sorry, I had to like. It's called the Giant Size Dracula book.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still have to go through it. I definitely love the interior art. Like Andrew did a fantastic job. Now it's just a matter of like, okay, I want to read what.
Do you have it?
Sorry.
Do you have it?
Yeah, I bought. Yeah, I bought it.
Should open it and show a little bit of the interior for anybody who's interested.
The only my only critique of that book, I have to say, is like the cover. As far as like the paper quality wise, I don't know. It creased. It's so big. I don't know what's that.
It's not like a giant size, is it?
It's giant size, right? So let me see. Hang on. I'm just measuring it.
Is
right
the
now.
paper? It's the same as it's the same as those facsimile that I got.
It's almost like 11 by 11 by 17. So people, comic book size paper, like 11 by 17. It's close to 11 by 17.
Are you talking about something like this?
Yeah, something similar to that, right?
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Here, should have done the same thing. Here, there you go.
There you go. How's the paper quality? It's not a hard book, a hardcover,
So,
is it?
Can you guys see?
Oh
see
yeah,
that,
I can see the crease down the middle.
See that crease in the middle?
Yeah.
That was.
Oh yeah.
That happened because when they put it in the bag was so big, like it was bigger than
Oh
this,
right. Yeah. Okay.
that when it went in, it kind of folded a bit.
Mhm.
But I just find that it creased so easily though. That's my only complaint. Like so now there's a crease on the cover, right? So it's like, but other than that, I mean, just to give you, I'm just gonna flip through it quickly, without giving anything away. Like yeah,
Artwork looks fantastic. It's always Andrew Hahn's always
it looked like it's such a fun book. You got like a
Hey,
gorilla, you got Dracula, you got like all these monsters in it, right? So I don't know. It looked like, man, it looked like it's a fun book. And then aside from that, I also got. So as I mentioned, I went to go see Becca. So I went to get this from her new book. It's issue 4 of Wormhole Club.
Oh okay.
Yeah,
Have
Becca.
you read it? Any good? Or you like the story or what?
Well, it's funny. I have to admit, I told her, I go like, I haven't read, like, this is issue 4, so I have 1 to 4 right now. And I did mention to her, I confess that I haven't read the book yet, but I'm waiting for like the series to finish so I can just binge read it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at with that. I think I just need to find a time to really like sit down and just like, yeah.
Don't we all? Don't we all?
What else did I get? One more thing somebody brought to my attention. This one here, it's a Marcus Toe book. So that's one guy I wanted to go see. He came by. He came by Gotham booth, and I told him I was gonna come by his table, but again, I didn't really have the chance to go
Is
over.
that a creator owned?
I'm not sure, but somebody brought this to my attention because um somebody bought a copy themselves, and they said, "Oh yeah, I got this from Marcus Toe," and I'm going like, "Hey, do you mind grabbing me one?" That's like,
Mm,
I wanted, Marcus is such a nice guy, and
yeah.
I really wanted to support what he's doing, so that's
Yeah.
why I said, like, even though I couldn't go to his table, I gave somebody money
Mm-hmm.
to grab the book for me. Because, well, even like looking at his copy before I got my own, I was already like, hey, it's Marcus. Like, you can't go wrong. Artwork's been, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I got myself a copy of that. And another thing I do whenever I attend convention, I love grabbing old school. Sorry, give me one moment. Old school comic book that we, back, like these kind of things.
Yeah. The dollar bin stuff.
No, no, these aren't really dollar bins. Like they're still around. Like, well, they're still around $5 or whatnot because
Right. Yeah.
there's these are key issues, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But I just love going back to the old comic book. The one that
For the
I've been looking
cover.
for over a year,
Mm-hmm.
more than a year, is this one.
Oh wow.
Like this Flash comic book was. I think this was. I don't. I think this was in the '90s, and it was done by Oscar. Like the artist, his name is Oscar Jimenez. Have you guys heard of him?
Yeah.
I don't know whatever happened to him. Like I don't see him, doing any books anymore.
Sometimes these you have to remember some of these artists aren't page
But
rate hasn't changed, and they kind of move on their career, and
right.
or they get sick and they pass away, and that's pretty
Yeah.
much it, right?
But if I'm, looking at the pages, like I'm just flipping through it. Like I actually read this book when it first came out, and but the the artwork, like it's and the panels, they're so like I feel like the way he inked it, it reminds me of like some of the current artists today. So I miss this style, and then so when
Yeah.
artists, new artists nowadays come out with the same style, like I always gravitate to it, but I miss this guy's artwork. Like, so anyway, so this is why I was looking for this. Because I remember this vividly. Unfortunately, I think I lost the book, but so I had to like hunt it down again, and I'm glad I found it. Right. So anyway, so well, this in this case, where I found this book was just maybe just 2 aisles away from Gotham Central, right?
Oh,
So I didn't really walk too far away for me to kind of, thing. But I took a break. I go, okay, I know where I'm going. I already know where I'm going. It's not like I searched, but I was just hoping that they would have it, and luckily they did. So
You lucked out.
yeah, I lucked out. I should have remembered what that booth name is, but like let's give them a shout out. But like, I'm just happy that they did have a copy. So anyway, so what other cons are you going to? Or would you
I'm well. First of all, I got to remember to email
James.
What's his name about Niagara Falls?
James.
Thank you, James, about Niagara Falls. Hopefully, I will see Bleecker down there, and
nice.
And Bleecker is down at St. Catherine area, and maybe I can hand this over to him, right? So at least he can use it for the Kickstarter. that's my thing. And when's that? That's June.
Yeah.
June, yeah.
June. Okay, so I need to either book hotel or sleep in front of Ollie's house. Um, right? You know, we're gonna bring a tent. I think we're gonna camp out in his backyard. Right?
Uh-huh.
That's the thing.
Mhm.
That's what I want to do. I want to see
Mm,
you guys again. I want to hang out. I want to, just hang around Artist Alley
Mhm. Yeah.
um, for that stuff. Um, and whoever's going to be the guests, I'm hoping maybe I have some of those books and get them signed, before the cons start. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like when we did with George Perez and
Yeah. Yeah.
Mike Zack and Starling and all the other fan favorites at the time, right?
Yeah.
It's I feel like Niagara Falls is a pilgrimage to go see Ollie.
It's always. Always.
and the food at his house after. Right?
Uh-huh.
Oh man. Again, the nickname we gave his wife,
Yes.
her name is Brush for anybody that,
Yeah.
so the nickname that we gave her because she's always, she's the one cooking all the, majority of the food, and they're all very, you've had a taste of them. They're all very good. It's like, oh man, so
Yes.
tasty. So we coined it the restaurant.
Yeah, the restaurant.
Yeah.
That's right. I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the con I want to go to. I like doing. I would love to do Montreal.
Oh man,
And
you should. You should. That's see.
I just need to work out the strategy, right? That's why I like talking to you guys about this stuff. Is what's happening at the con to give an idea of is because I think by that time I should have some books with my variant covers on it.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that way I can put it on display
Yeah.
and hopefully by that time Graham and some of those guys have their books and I can send them over to their table to help out, with their books and
Mhm. Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. I want to have a bunch of books on the table too, but I think my forte is going to be the sketch cards.
Hmm.
Um,
Mhm.
that I can play on. I can say, look, I drew for
Yeah.
Tops, I drew for Upper
Right.
Deck, I drew
Yeah.
for Nickelodeon, I drew for blah blah. I'm the official artist. I want to use that branding as
Yep.
an
Yep.
advantage.
Have
That's
you?
really, yeah.
So I can ask. Have you ever tried applying as a pro?
The pro stuff? No, I haven't. I know I got invited a few times, but the problem is just finding the time,
Hmm.
right? Like okay, do I want to do Saskatchewan and they'll give me a free table and all that stuff, but I gotta find my own flight back out there, and you know that kind of stuff becomes a little logistic. And how do I travel with the amount of stuff I want, or do I mail it out? And I haven't done that. I prefer the driving. If I can drive somewhere, that'd be cool, right?
Right.
Um, the like I want to do Ottawa for sure, right?
Oh man,
But
Ottawa. Yeah.
it's the logistic of getting out there. And I think this year I don't think I have a plan to go back to work full time yet. So
Mhm.
that's
Right.
why I'm thinking, okay, well, the con seasons are coming and might as well get ready. And I did my first con and it just burnt me out. Like it
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
even a full day, right?
Right.
I got home and I'm like exhausted, right? And it is
Really.
a big deal for me, right? Especially after like heart surgeries and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
it's hard. Yeah.
Comic Con. I want to do Hamilton too. Are you doing Hamilton? It's um any
Arnold.
Arnold?
Nope. Yes, I am.
Cross
Well,
Comics doing Hamilton. There you go.
funny enough. Funny enough. Uh, James and Matt Miller, I believe that's the one who handled the Hamilton Con,
Yeah.
was in Toronto on the weekend over the weekend. James came by the Gotham booth, but I didn't get a chance to see him. But yeah, so I'll talk to Matt, and they're definitely getting the Hamilton Con ready. Obviously they're excited about it because I believe they already have their guests. I think they have their guests lined up already. But I know they're pumping out a lot of cool guests for Niagara Falls. I know also we're trying to like say, oh man, the guest is taken away from our money, but it goes back to those are the people that are actually bringing
The
people in,
attendees.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if I can get $20 off of them, that's great, right? If I can get $40 off of them, that's even better.
Yeah,
Like the T-shirt, I'm gonna get a T-shirt that says $20 is $20, right? I'm not gay, but $20 is $20,
right.
right? I'll see you behind the dumpster.
Wow,
Oh, Cross Comics, he's doing Hamilton. Okay.
nice. Oh yeah, no, Hamilton for me was great as well too last year. Um, oh yeah, hey Cross Comics, how's it going? But yeah, so for me, my lineup this year is definitely Hamilton. Hamilton's in there. Niagara Falls, Montreal. I was trying to get into Ottawa, but I know I'm on the waiting list at the moment. Uh, but where else? I think there's some other one. Uh, there's a niche one, the Frightmare. You heard of that one, right?
Yeah. I gotta do I'm hoping maybe Bleeker, if you're still on the thing, Frightmare there. I will definitely show up if you decide to do a table. We'll split one if you want, buddy, and we can try to pitch the book. That's Halloween, right? Around that time.
Yeah, it's in
Yeah.
October.
In
That's
October.
actually the best thing to do is just share. Cause I believe that's the only con that I share the table with Mike.
Yeah.
All the other ones we have our own table. So
I did Hamilton last year, live in Hamilton.
it's a good show as well too.
Yeah. It's the sorry, I'm doing the highlights now
It's okay.
with the acrylic pen instead of trying to paint it.
Quite honestly, it's funny because I don't know, your sketches, guys. Oh, sorry, I just turned around. Yours is turning out really cool. I'm looking at this, we're all focused on our drawing. That I'm not. I sometimes don't. I'm not looking at the monitor, as much as I should. But yours is turning out really cool.
Well, the idea for this was I wanted Bleeker and Callie's in the comment there, Callie Comics and Bleeker Street Comics. Callie's in California, and Bleeker's down in Niagara Falls there, and they wrote a really I like the story they wrote.
Oh yeah,
it's called Murder City. I don't have time to do sequentials, so I volunteered to do a cover for them. But instead of originally, I was going to paint this. I was going to paint this digitally, right? So I had this. I did this tone and these black and white gray. So I had an idea of the focus that I wanted, and I said, okay, it's great to have digital, but because these guys are starting their first campaign, I think it'd be better if I can give them an original art that they can put up, right? Even if this was going for maybe a $500 or $800 or whatever, or even a $200 tier. If somebody wants this, they can have an original cover, right? So I wanted to give them that boost, right? So by giving them an original cover to put as a tier, right? Whoever backs this will get the cover, right? For me, it's just me I could have done this, but what I'm doing is I'm painting textures. I'm layering everything on. That's what you're seeing, right? So a lot of it is just like I'm trying to make like the walls kind of drippy, and it's hard on my camera to see, but you can,
Dude,
like,
I can't do what you're doing when it comes to.
right.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to do like
Amazing.
crack. See, there's subtle cracked in the drywall, concrete, whatever this is, and it's a slow layering process of like it looks like there's a poster here, right, on the wall. That's kind of
Mhm.
like a poster here, the lights and stuff. I
But
want this room to radiate, and I might have to crack open the airbrush a little bit just to give it a more of a glow. But
yeah,
the other option is, after I think I get to a point where I want it to get, I think I'm going to scan this and color the rest digitally so they can have a nice cover, while the
right,
original can be sold for whatever they want to, or put it as a tier, right? And I think this will help with the at least to reach a milestone in the cover, because I wanted to see, like, I always like indie people who who wants to get in the comic book, right? Who wants to create a comic book. Um, you know, that's their attempt into, saving the comic book industry, I guess.
right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
at
yeah,
least they're doing it. At least they're attempting it. Even if the project fail, as long as they attempt it, I'm okay with it, right? I'm
right.
okay. I'm okay with this, right? The time I spent on this will give them enough for what they needed to. And just me, I'm being lazy here too, and I'm painting in like very like normally I would do all these details and stuff, but I don't think you need to, because I have to be conscious of what the focus is, right? And the focus is this room and this character,
Oh, that's already good.
right? It's getting there. I need to find out. Like, I want to do these light bulbs, but I need to figure out if I
So,
use a different color here
mhm.
and change that to a red and just slowly glow that out, or have one that's kind of burnt out or dim a little bit.
Right. Let me ask you this. So you think is that a cover? You said,
This
or
will be a cover, yes.
yeah. Let me ask you. So, um, did you read, or did they give you some sort of like note on
Yeah.
drawing?
Bleeker says, yeah. Murder King. Okay, so right, Murder King is this is about, right. It's a place in a city called Side City. It's about the city. It's about this city where it feels very what do you call it, noir, very dark horror. The city itself is the story, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? Each people that happens in the city is that part, you know what I mean? Like, it's like Sin City kind of thing, right?
Right.
You got all these little different characters. You got this crime city. It's dark, it's gritty, it's, people live in these squalors, they live tight to each other, they hate each other. You have this feel. So when I'm reading it, I had this feel. It felt like a supernatural thriller, kind of horror-ish,
Oh yeah.
right?
Okay.
So I read it at the very beginning. Going through the going through the script, and my typical brain is like, well, the script needs uh, panels needs to be broken down a little bit more, and blah 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 blah. But after reading it 2 or 3 times, I kind of got the idea, ignoring all the technical detail that they need to throw in, right? Like, page one, how many panels there are. I'm I when I read a script, I usually, that's what the first thing I see is all the technical detail, instead of actually focusing on the story itself. So it takes
Right.
me a little bit to, yeah, right. Yeah, that's kind of thing. What would draw me was the dead body at the beginning, the opening scene, right? and then it kind of like you somebody died and it went back, and it starts at the beginning, and you know who that person who's going to die, right? So
Okay.
that gave me the thing. One of the scene was the guy was going into the basement or something like that, and so I had this feel in my head that this narrow, claustrophobic, dark, wet, dirty basement in
Mm-hmm.
some apartment complex, and it has to do with a guy who is a exterminator, right? So he's going to be in this dark, dingy, smelly, wet, and he's got to get rid of mice or whatever it is that he has to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I pictured in my head, and these guys usually have those masks when they throw canisters of pesticides or where they're spraying stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I read from the book. That's what I read from the stuff. Um, Barring technical issues with the script itself, the guys are going through and doing what they need to do to trim the story down, right?
Right.
I think giving them a cover, like when I draw covers, I'm always thinking of, okay, will the person who sees this pick up the book based on the cover, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or do I do, half naked, sexy poses, or like the action poses that we always used to when we
Yeah.
see X-Men? But we were used to that because we know what X-Men is,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
We know what Wonder Woman is. We know what Power Girl is. We know exactly what those are. So for indie books, you have to put that bit of mystery to it. That's why I like the distillery stuff. Hey, hey, Norman, right? Uh, so yeah, that's the thing. So when I get covers, like even when I did cover for Niobe Outbreak,
Mm-hmm.
4, first I was like, what do you want me to do? Right? I asked Larry, and Larry's like, well, can you do me a cover that's based on the story inside? I said, well, okay, well, so he gave me the digital version of the first 3 issues. So I read it. Then I went right to the conclusion where the cliffhanger. I said, you know what? I'm gonna do the cliffhanger as the opening for that page, right?
Right.
So I did a couple of rough sketches and stuff like that because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of his book is bad girl books, and he
Oh,
got
okay.
like Jimmy Tyndall and Keith Garza, I think from Image Comics and all the stuff to do the covers for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're all sexy, J. Scott Campbell, you
Yep.
know, girls that should be eating with organs, right?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like Scott Campbell. There's no way a girl could be that thin and
Right. Yeah.
Right. Right.
but they look sexy, right? They're thin and they're wiry and they do action poses like Danger Girls. I love
Yeah.
the Danger Girl series,
Well,
right?
even
Yeah.
Michael Turner had that, like,
Yes,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah. But it draws an audience. So I had to when I first drew the cover for Niobe Outbreak, I drew the ladies as if I drew them as Wonder Woman, as if it was George Perez with a waistline, with
ooh,
muscle tones.
Mm-hmm.
Then I submitted and he goes, well, could you channel your J. Scott Campbell? So I had to go in and like
Mm-hmm.
narrow it down. And the guys are like, make their boobs bigger, make their boobs bigger.
oh my gosh.
But it became fun. I mean, there's a fun part of it where you have to sometime break out of your of you know what I mean, right? Like we're
Yeah.
used to drawn in a certain style, even if it's women.
Mm-hmm.
Then when we have to emulate like
Yeah.
somebody
Certain style.
else's style, you gotta remember to turn off your brain on the inside and try to remember to why their style works so well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why. especially for this, right? This, I wanted to give them a tone, and I figure the red, there's a layer. I started with a blue, like a red wash
Mm-hmm.
as their main thing, because that's what I had in mind. That gave that undertone, and I start layering in the blue. I avoid the black as much as I could. I use
Right.
brown, right? The black is too strong because sometimes the black you need to temper that back, right? So then I start layering. Then I was using a lot of purple, right? Because the blue and the red usually mix the purple, but it gives it a really nice dark hue,
Yeah.
right? And I'm hoping when I scan this will come out. From the camera perspective, it's hard to make out, but if from the naked eye, I like the brush stroke. I like the these little texture that I did with the water wash, and it looks like water stripping down
Yeah.
the side. I use a little bit of the color pencils, the black, just to scratch up the surface, so it looks like there's crack here. You know, it's a basement. It's you know, it's
Mm-hmm.
a 40-year-old apartment complex or something, right? And why
Right.
does this room have a red light bulb?
Why?
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 Why? Right? Right? It's the you know, that's my thought process when it comes to doing
Doing cover.
right.
Right.
Like I would love to do more. You know, if I get a gig for X-Men or something like that, but that's easier cover to do because all you're doing is drawing Wolverine with you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just
Now, no, again, it turning out great, and I envy your skill on how you managed to pull off like you can definitely tell like how like there's perspective in there on the way you color.
Yeah,
it's
it's pretty
blend.
nice.
It would have been easier if it was digital.
As always,
I could
well,
go I could go respective ruler right here.
well, it's funny because like when you're talking about digital, I have to admit, that's the route I go when I'm producing majority of my prints, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's only because again, I don't have the luxury to spend so much time.
Yeah, yeah,
And like when right now we're drawing traditionally, and when we're drawing traditionally, erasing stuff or correcting stuff takes a long time to do, right? Um, but this is why
yeah, for sure.
I save my my time on doing traditional for commissions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of my prints definitely are digitally done because so my thing is that like so I work I have my 9 to 5 job Monday to Friday, and then so when I get home say around 5, like yeah, I'll say 5, and then I eat, then I rest for a bit, and honestly I don't start my drawing until probably around 8 o'clock in the evening,
Mm-hmm.
and then but then I limit also myself to make sure that like okay I need to get everything done, or at least 95% of the stuff done, whether it's like you know from start till to ink to color, within the 4 hours, because I want to go to bed at least by midnight or the latest
Yeah,
12:30.
right.
'Cause, I know I still have to get up the following day, and then the following day I go back to it, and that's when I kind of like look at the work and I see if there's any like
Yeah,
correction
you
I
need
need to
to
do.
walk away sometimes.
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? I do give myself like at least a day to or at least like to walk away from the piece and then just to kind of like have a fresh eye on it, right? But that's my thing. But going back to digitally is, or the that's the way I produce a lot of my prints. Sorry, I just saw a question. And when you draw digitally, can you do it at a show and print it at the show in front of the client? When you're drawing, I guess this is, Bleecker Street Comics is asking, when you draw digitally, can you do it at a show and print it at the show in front of the client, asking for a sketch?
Well, you got to bring the printer. You got to bring a computer. You got to that is a lot to bring at a show.
Yeah.
I sometimes do commissions digitally, and if they want 11 by 17s or print size, I take it to the printer and I charge them for that service, right? If you want it digitally, I have no problem painting something digitally and emailing it to them, and they can do whatever they want to do with it. It's their file, it's their stuff. If they want to turn around and sell it, it's up to them, right?
Right.
That's my commissions, and that's what you find out from, like, if I'm doing a commission for a cover or something like that, I charge accordingly based on that. And then because I know they can, they're going to use it on their books, they can use on T-shirts, they can use all the other stuff, and that's okay, right?
Yeah.
That's okay, right?
Right.
That's their file. I give them their file, right? I prepare the file. I say, okay, well, I'm going to flatten this area. I'm going to give you the individual elements if you want that. If you want individual element, you let me know, and I'll charge you extra for that little bit of service, or you can do it yourself, right? Then if you want me to put the trade dress on, I can do that for you too. But yeah. If we're going to draw digitally, I think the only way I see that is bringing an iPad, Procreate, and a wireless printer.
Right. Actually, that's, or one of those mobile studio Cintiq, but those are expensive.
Yeah, you're looking at a 2,000. Well, I mean, if you're gonna spend $2,000-3,000 on a mobile Cintiq, I'd rather spend it on an iPad where if the iPad is lost, it's $1,000, right? If a mobile Cintiq, if I drop that sucker and I rely on that, I'm in trouble, because that is my drawing screen and everything all in one, right? That's another $4,000 right there to replace.
Another thing to consider, like we would have to consider, is the power. So I know the con.
the con. Yeah, you have to pay for it.
But that's an extra cost for us, right?
Yeah.
Unless you bring those portable power generator type of thing, right?
Yeah.
Or portable batteries.
Yeah. At the big cons, even at the small con, we don't have that accessibility to power. That the convention center will charge extra. That's why, San Diego and all that stuff, you need power in your booth. Well, yeah, it will cost you so and so, right?
Yeah.
And we'll drop, you tell us how many watts you want, and we'll drop a line there, and it's up to you guys to split that or break that down, right? You got to bring the power supplies and all this other stuff, right? Now imagine if you do that at a con like Niagara Falls Comic-Con. Everybody wants power. That means that you have to get your engineering guy to drop either electricity from the ceiling down the middle column, right? Then they got to lay carpet down in certain areas and the little bumper so people don't trip over and get hurt and stuff. Or if there's already power in the floor, then somebody got to come along and open that up and connecting that too, right? Then there's that fire marshal kind of thing, because some guy will decide to hook in a hairdryer, right? Like, I'll bring a hairdryer to a show just to mess with people.
Like, I don't know, if they're hungry, they're gonna bring their own
microwave.
Yeah, right? Microwave.
Microwave, or
50
God.
artists microwaving at the same time. We're all having burritos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, for sure. That definitely, those are the challenges that we would have if we were to kind of like do things digitally at the con, right? Um. So you mentioned that like you would email your digital copy to the client
Yep.
when you do commission. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah. If if it's digital, right? A
Because
lot of time it's all covers, right? So
Mm.
I have Google Drive. I would put that on my Google Drive, and I would just share the link.
Oh yeah.
Right? I
Yeah.
would break that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll break that down. I'll say here's a 50% resolution used for social, right? And I bring that down to like 1500 pixels wide or something like that. So I make sure that's available for them. So if they want to post it on social media and all the other stuff, because um, a lot of the creators,
huh?
um, they don't think about social media nowadays because now they're going to need to because of Diamond is not being there anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and a
Right.
lot of small time creators now going to need to rely on YouTube's on like what we're doing now, right? They show up,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or yeah, Naman just steals the table of a con. You really need to take notes from him.
Who? Sorry.
Naman was at Heroes Con, and
Okay.
he there was an empty table, and he just kind of sat down. But he found out later it was Jade Lee's table,
No way.
and people thought I don't know. I guess it is Naman's Asian, right? So people think, oh, that's Jade Lee. Naman just took over the whole thing. It was pretty funny.
No, I just saw the comment there.
Yeah.
Naman just steals tables at cons. Hey, if you can get away with it, why not?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the joke. He just sat down to that table and he kind of took it over because the person wasn't there for, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Uh,
that's funny.
He didn't actually steal the table, but
No, no, no.
that's
I
their own
mean,
joke.
I'm pretty sure you know, the con organizer keep an eye on.
A lot of the time they're pretty busy. Like, how many of the con organizers did you notice going down to the artist alley and
Well,
wandering around? Right?
I remember last year. Funny enough, where Hamilton Comic Con, there was so I had a corner spot, and there was a table right across from me, and it just so happened it was the entrance to get into the floor. But I don't know what was going on, but I just noticed the people or the artists that was setting up there. Like one was it was like they had a like well they created themselves a corner spot. So or a corner table. So they had two tables joining, like making a corner there. And then but then I noticed that the table at the corner near the door was overlapping the door, and I'm going like, are they about to do that?
mm-hmm.
And then the other table, it's like it was positioned properly. It's not in anybody's way.
Yeah.
But funny enough, like I don't know, maybe I got so busy that I didn't notice. Like all of a sudden, like within like I don't know. Again, I must have been like just busy, not even noticing what happened. But like all of a sudden, I see that corner table. The person that was just like dismantling everything. It was taking everything down.
Oh.
So apparently, I guess the con organizer just told them it's like, hey, you're blocking the entrance. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Yeah.
a fire hazard, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if they were even supposed to do that. I just feel like they were just like taking advantage that like they have a corner table or they have a corner
Yeah.
spot that they could create another table, and it's not like what they were selling at that corner table was like it's the same as it's almost like putting my work and or one of your work in each side. So I just
Oh.
there was another artist that was like trying to set themselves up there without. I don't know. Maybe they were like trying to like. Hey, if they paid for the table, I don't think they would have got like kicked out
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But I just
Well, sometimes if you are blocking fire hazard, then yes, that's not a good thing. Especially exits and stuff like that. I mean,
yeah.
if you were if you were buying a table and you got that free extra space, you're going to take advantage of it, right? But a lot of the time, you don't think about, oh yeah, I'm blocking an exit or something like that, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes you might not even know because of the door was blocked or something.
I don't know. I just feel like sometimes people should have common sense when they're setting up their stuff.
Yeah, but
Like, did I tell you the story? Well, this one happened in Montreal, where I came in, traveling all the way from here, and I had to, travel, and then arriving to the convention early in the morning, and I think I was one of the last ones. So the way it was set up, it's like there's like 4 tables in one island, and obviously 4 table, one island. Like your exit, you only have that one exit, unless you're gonna put like a space between your neighbor on your side, right?
Mm.
So the people behind me, I noticed when they set their table up, they blocked their own exit.
Oh yeah, yeah. You told me that story.
So that story, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I told you this story, lot, but they blocked their own exit.
Yeah.
oh
And
no
here I
way.
am. I'm setting up for my I'm setting up my table, and I noticed like the people behind me that set their tables up that way was looking at me funny, right? That's like, or I don't know. I just noticed that they were watching me.
They were
They were
just
watching me,
watching.
and then one of them decided to like ask me. It was like, oh, um, are you gonna put anything behind you? Because like we just thought maybe that's where we can get out. So what they wanted to do was like use my back
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
them, like as an exit for them.
Oh,
And I'm going like, okay, that's kind of ridiculous because now I got to accommodate for you
Yeah.
so that way you can get out. Whereas if you had planned, like I feel like they've done this before, and that's what kind of like pissed me off. I'm going like, I feel like they knew what they were doing, but they were just trying to see if they can get away with like.
yeah. As much as
Yeah.
some people are like that though.
Yeah. Yeah.
They fucking buying. Sometimes you do really need to buy good pencils, color pencils.
What do you? Is that a colorate that you're?
No, this one is a Confenshu color pencil because it was cheap, and every time I sharpen it, I can just literally pull the nib right off.
Right.
Right. Every time I try to sharpen a tip, I can just pull it right off. It's so brittle, and it's just so guys. This is where please pay your artists good money because it's not like we it's not like we use it to spend on alcohol and stuff. Well, it's actually true. Alcohol, it's the alcohol we spend it on is alcohol markers, alcohol paint.
Good.
Right?
Good cover. Good cover.
Good cover. That's right. Good cover. Because we can't afford. This is what our fortune goes into is color pencils and all this stuff. So right now, what I did with this was I applied I put so a lot of my paint, you'll see me squeeze out Liquitex matte medium. Matte medium is kind of like sandpaper on top of the acrylic. What it does is it's kind of like using water on acrylic, but it's acrylic, and it kind of thins it down, but it's not watering it down. You know what I mean? Like how water thin downs the pigment. This stuff
Right.
keeps the pigment, keeps it red and keeps it
Mhm.
blue, and it uses that. So what happens when it dries? It gives me this texture feel, and I can use color pencils and other medium on top. Right? Because otherwise, if you paint with acrylic, when it dries, it's plastic, so it's hard to draw on top of plastic when you know
Is
what I
that
mean.
what you're using? Are you using acrylic?
This is acrylic, yeah. So I use acrylic. So I have these acrylic paints. When I first do my stuff, I work them like a watercolor. Afterwards, I start applying all the necessary stuff. So for me to do little textures and blending, instead of using my brush, I use color pencils just to give me enough highlights. Then after I'm done with the color pencil, I will probably put a thin layer of varnish on top. That will keep the color pencil from smudging and any medium from smudging on top, right? That's how I work, right? So just doing the little fine detail is basically I'm using a lot of like the browns and the oranges to cause these little crack, and the blue kind of soaks it up and it gives it that really nice texture, right? I just give enough to focus on just certain elements, and everything else is out of focus, right? Because it's light, right? So if a red light's coming out, you're gonna catch like little streaks of red on the hinge of the door,
Mhm.
right? That's like anything you do. It's all about observing, right? I think the next thing is I just gonna see. I need to do a test, so I bought acrylic ink,
Hmm.
and I'm gonna run it through an airbrush
Mhm.
and see if I can do a glow effect or something like that. But I have to do a test on that first before I apply on this thing, right? But yeah, like, can you make anyone a big? Oh yeah. Okay, so let's see. Let's make. Okay, so how do we make them big? So we're gonna go with Arnold. You're gonna be on the big screen. There you go.
Really?
Yeah.
So I'm using a reference
Yep.
with a logo. I can't find my Sinestro action figure, so I found like my Green Lantern who became a Yellow Lantern. And yeah, this is. I didn't know what to draw tonight, so I went with like, you know what? I haven't drawn a bad guy in a long time.
Yeah, drawing bad guys are always fun. I have a theme on my whatnot where one night I just draw Marvel villains or DC villains, right?
Right.
Or any villains at all. Well, that's cool. So, what's your favorite material to use?
Well,
Pencils.
traditionally, yeah, pencil is the way I go because I'm not really comfortable with doing any um traditional, I guess, medium yet. Like I can pull it off, but I don't feel I don't feel comfortable yet.
Yeah.
Even with markers, like I would definitely would love to start using all the like Copic because I bought so much that I want, but it's just a matter of like practicing.
Yeah.
So for now, yeah, when I'm doing commission, I normally I tell them I go only do pencil. Now if they want color, uh I'll digitally color it. So in my case, what I do is I tell the client that I would actually make a print out of the color version, but also provide them the original
Nice.
pencil work. So basically, they have two copies of what they commission me to do. So they'll have the original drawing, and then they'll also have the print copy. So I get it printed for them. So I don't know if
Cool.
that's
Yeah, no, I mean that makes sense for the stuff. And you're always a mechanical pencil guy ever since I known you. So
I
yeah,
I like the mechanical pencil because I feel like, yeah, as you know, we rarely have to sharpen them,
yeah,
and I can, like, especially what I'm using right now is such a small, like, I think this one's a point, yeah, point 0.3.
yeah,
I can go into. I love my details. Let's put it this way. Just like
yep.
Ollie. Now
No, I
I'm
love
not
the
as
shading.
I'm not as skilled as Ollie is when it comes to detail wise, but I'm working at it, right? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Arnold, he does a lot of pencil work. If you like a lot of his pencil stuff, I mean, I like a lot the way he does the shadings and the fadings and stuff like that. He always he's got it down pat where he does characters where he focus only on the one element or whatever they're doing, their poses. So that's what I liked about the stuff, right? See?
thank
Hey,
you.
hey guys. I think I'm going out now.
Okay, well, we're
Yeah.
gonna show you real quick. We're gonna show you what you were drawing
Oh
there.
yeah. I just yeah.
So Ollie just he's just doing
Yeah.
the Rocketeer.
Oh, we'll
Right?
do this again next week. Yeah, I
Nice.
did some.
Ollie's always dynamic with his stuff, man.
I know. I love his stuff, right? So yeah, if you guys want commission Ollie, his socials down there for sketch cover, what will happen is Ollie will finish it and he'll send it to me or Arnold, and we'll sign it for on his behalf for you.
Yeah, this one's
Yeah, just kidding.
Rocketeer.
Right?
I wasn't able to finish this, but I did the layout of Spawn.
Look at that. So he's pretty quick too. He's pretty damn quick and stuff.
Very, very.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, hey, compared to me, like, I'm pretty sure, yeah, if anybody followed, the show from the beginning, this is as far as I can get. Meantime, Ollie's like he's already gotten like 2 characters already.
Yeah. And all the
But nah, you're getting faster too, Cap.
yeah.
Thank you. I try.
It's all about speed, right?
And Locke is always yeah, I know Locke is also fast if he wants to. Like yeah, he can produce.
I'm
Like
lazy. I'm
no,
just
you're-
AI. I'm just AI. I'm
Locke,
all AI.
the way I see Locke, I mean, like, Locke is, I give you props as far as, like, yeah, how fast you produce your stuff, but the quality you put in as well too in your work. And your work has definitely has that distinctive look. Like,
yeah,
yep, that's a Locke. That's a Locke.
That's
yeah,
a lot.
yeah.
Right. So
It's-
Anyway, guys,
Yeah.
catch next week.
Yep.
yeah.
Have a
Yep.
good night, Ollie.
Okay, up.
All right.
Locke,
Have a good
again?
evening. We'll talk more later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Have a good night, guys.
Later.
All right. Good night.
Yep.
What
So
about you,
I'll-
Locke? How
I'll
long?
make mine big. So here's what let's see if I can turn off some of the lights here. So it's not as washed out.
Wow.
There you go.
Love it.
So it doesn't, it looks very washed out here, but to the naked eye there's this nice purple hues to it. Yeah, I the this
It looks
color
like
doesn't do
it's
it
a
justice.
negative. It looked like especially the red part. It reminds me of like the negative film. Like, when they before you develop a picture, and you remember those old school negative film.
Oh yeah,
Those
yeah.
negative strip. That's what kind of reminds me of.
Like what I try to do is just like see the textures. It's just the color pencils and me going over it with just the paint and stuff. So it looks like there's crack on the wall. And I did a little bit of a red just around the edges, right, with a Sharpie, and I just used my finger to blur the edges and stuff. Normally I would use a brush, but I found that these acrylic markers will do the trick. Just get a fine point and just use your finger to move it around and move it, or a brush to move it around. It's just a hint of how light works around the edge, right? Blue,
Right.
red, pink, and purple. Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping it turns out really well because from my monitor, it looks really flat and stuff. But to the naked eye, it should give enough details. So the next thing I did was I used a kind of like a purple. There's a little bit of purple and pencil, and I just went in with a color pencil just to scratch in the texture. And
Yeah.
I'm using my finger to rub that, just to scratch in just enough to, like, there's, that just, like, light has this funny way of bouncing off surfaces just to give that character a volume. Otherwise, it would have been like very, very black here. And you know what I mean? Like that core of the person will be very, very black. And you
Right.
can't make it out. But if you give enough, just a little bit of like a red streak here, it's hard to see from the camera. I don't know if you guys can see from the camera, but the idea is just to give enough. There's a fold. He's wearing some sort of raincoat or something. And
Isn't there a term like when you're doing like light along the edges?
well, they're edge light. That's really what
Yeah.
that is, right?
That's
And
it.
but like my thing was, my main focus was this red is flooding into this room, right? And at nighttime we assumed everything's black, but there is actual color in darkness, right?
Right.
So that's why if you look, there's this red that comes out, everything becomes kind of like this purple blue tint to it, right? It's like those horror movies of the hospitals.
Right.
You know what I mean? Things just looks a little bit more. So I want it to be a little bit warmer, and there's that fight, right? So there's this fight of warm and cold together, right? So this warmth is flooding the room, but there's this cold blue that bleeds. And the thing is, when I measure the board out, there's about an inch right around here. So so right around there's about an inch and a half of space that will never be seen.
Right.
Because that will be the 11 by 17. Everything in this space will be 11 by 17, right? I just paint outside that just in case for, I don't know, if we scan it and we do the trade paperback and we want him a little bit more, we can go like this. Or if we want him a little less, then we go like that. But ideally, this is center for me, right? So it's enough to, and if you notice, everything's kind of soft around the edges, so I don't have to worry about the details. I'm focusing everything, all the main details in here, right? And I did this with, I started out with a red pencil, then I went in with some red, water it down, gave it a little bit of wash, and that's all I did here, was just going over and over and over and over, just to give it enough detail to where you can there's something here. It looks like pipes. It looks like wires. It looks like a typical room where the drywall only goes up to a certain height.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Well, even that tiny detail in the background, it makes it really. It gives it that how am I pronouncing this? It makes you really believe that the background exists.
Yeah.
Yeah. Articulating that correctly.
I didn't know what to throw in here. Originally, I was going to throw a dead body, but I didn't want to give it away.
Are you gonna put the knife there? Are you gonna I don't know if he's already killed somebody or he's about to
We don't know. That's the thing, right? You don't know. You don't really know. That's the. I'm gonna darken this a little bit, but I kind of left it white. I don't know. It's a focus, but it's what do you see first is my next thing, right? Is you walk away, you come back, and you go, do I need to see that first? That is too much, or should I just flatten that down, right? Like dull that down.
Right.
That's my next thing, and this is my other thing too. Is these lights? I have not painted in this space. I kind of left the board as is. Now I just need to figure out my next step for this is do I start painting this? Because the trade is going to go right over top of this. So you're not going to see this. Not by much anyway. So I'm thinking of fading that down, but I need to.
Bad. It's like I like that. I like that. Like I like that effect that you put in the light there.
It's not even an effect. It's just me not finishing painting the area.
Shut up, Lock. It's supposed to
The glow. Yeah. Everybody thinks it's a glow, but it's actually, I haven't painted in that space.
No, but I
just
think you
left
should
it.
leave it like that because it looked like it's a glow. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. Like it's a little happy accident type of thing.
Well, I'm like I faded just up enough, right? I just went enough. Like I didn't paint all the way there because I knew there'd be like, if you observe stuff a light, you notice that it's kind of like, even though this is the background, it looks like the background is lit up by it, even though it's like below that.
Yeah.
Right? It's some weird thing that we do with our eyes. That's the thing, right? My next thing is I go in with this, and this is what I'm afraid of the most. I might have to use a gray tone or a different color. White always.
That's that one, right?
Well,
you're afraid it's gonna pop too much.
yeah, it's gonna pop too much, and I might not want it popping. Like I might just like just right. That's another. See, just that little bit of soft, and it becomes this really beam, right? That's the only thing. I might have to do some like just because I kind of like the idea that I did this. See, there's that blue rim light that gives it depth, right? But where's that coming from?
Actually, that was the word. That was the word I was looking for earlier on. Rim light.
The rim light, right? But where is that coming from? But that came from when I did the initial wash, right? I put a little bit of blue, a little bit of red around the edges and stuff, and I left it, and I painted. So I painted this center core darker, leaving that, and I did that. I left the red on this one side, right? Maybe I'm putting too much into it. That's the only.
Well, I feel like we tend to do that sometimes, right? We put a little bit too much of what shouldn't.
Sometimes we just gotta like call it and say it's done, right?
Right.
I just need to. That's the thing, right? It's like anything we do. Like, do we go to the next step? Like, do I hit this with an airbrush? What happens if I hit this with an airbrush? I cannot reverse it. There's no undo. Right. Right. We're having happy accidents.
Oh man, yeah.
Right. You know the pencil when you're sketching and you're doing this stuff, the undo is the eraser, right?
Right.
But once you put that alcohol marker down.
Well, again, I don't use them as much as I should, but like, yeah, I can only imagine. Because again, anything traditional, man, yeah, once you lay that sucker down, it's down there, and then it'll take you a while to kind of recover from it.
Yeah. It's just trying to like I did a little bit of red around the edges here of this because I used I used the black acrylic to cause the lines, but I kind of stopped in certain areas. So I'm putting red back on the edges, just the rim, just the edges, to knock the black back.
Right.
So it looks like the room is lit up based on that. And that's really what it is. It's just subtle. I just need to like step away, come back, and
Exactly. Yeah.
like how much of that do I hit? Because this light looks like it's right above him, so I need to put a little bit of white in this area here, or something more of a little bit brighter here, and I have to do something with his eyes. Because right now I just I didn't color the whole thing, but it will be red, and I need to do something with the sheen just enough so it looks like he's staring back at you. So I have this
Is he wearing a gas mask or something?
yeah, some sort of gas mask. Right? That makes it a little more creepy, right? Guys with a knife with a gas mask, right?
True.
And I'm
hood.
highlighting it with with a little bit of red and some whites and stuff like that. So
Right.
look, Ma, I can draw feet too.
I like it though. I don't know why. You know what draws my attention? It's your background there. I love
It's the room. Yes, it's the room. It's the focus into the room. You're like, what is in that room? Why is the room red?
Why is it red?
Why is it red? Yeah. Right. The next thing is the floor. I just don't know if I should blotch a certain part of the floor more. That's yeah. Yeah, after this, tape comes off. I'm gonna put the varnish on top to protect the surface. Then the tape will come off. I'm gonna have to cut the tape off a little bit, scan it, then hand this over to Bleecker, and we should have a cover for the piece.
Nice.
I want to paint more. That's the only thing.
What do you mean? What do you mean paint more?
Like, do more paintings, do bigger paintings, do stuff.
Oh, okay.
I really enjoy it. It's just I don't have the patience for it sometimes.
Right.
Painting
I thought you meant you wanted to paint more on this because I feel like.
No, I want to do paintings. I want to get back into painting. I find it peaceful, but it's a lot of planning.
True. I don't know. I think I'm saving all my materials that I bought, whether it's my acrylic, my ink, whatnot, for retirement. So when I'm not working at all, or like just to keep myself busy, I would be like just painting or I don't know, drawing.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can do that now. It's just, I want to try out some other technique. I want to, one of my bucket lists is to do something with heavy metal. That's my bucket list.
What do you mean?
Like a book, like Heavy Metal, the magazine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Right. That's one of my bucket lists, is either paint a cover for Heavy Metal or do something inside the Heavy Metal magazine. Right. That I can, I don't need to draw for Marvel or DC or something like that. Heavy Metal is one of those magazines that I always loved. I love the fantasy aspect of it and everything. So,
speaking of Heavy Metal, do you have the blank cover for Heavy Metal?
Yes. I just did the. You can actually order it. Ask Carlos.
Buddy, Look,
You got it already?
yeah,
Nice.
I have that, and I have the blank mad.
So
I just
is that
haven't
available now?
opportunity. Sorry.
That's available now? The heavy metal? Did you
Oh,
just pick that up?
this was available back when. I just haven't had the time to put anything on it. But I want to grab it because
Wait,
like,
wait.
I wanted to do my
That's
own
been
spin
released?
of
Is
like
that the
you know,
one
Mad
with
Magazine cover
Frank
or
Frazetta cover? Or
sorry.
what's the interior? This is new, right? This is brand new.
No, I don't know when this. No, I've had this for a while now.
Oh,
I've had
dude.
this for a while now. Let me see. Hang on.
Because the one I'm waiting for is the one I just backed on Kickstarter.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm trying to see when this one came out, but I know I've had this for a while. I just haven't had a chance to.
Like how many years? Like a year ago? 2 years ago?
Mm, let me see.
Look for the legend right at the bottom there. Yeah, where the blue part is. It'll say copyright 19 something.
So, come on. 2020.
2020. Okay. So it's a 2020 cover. I did not know that. I really didn't. So I ordered I backed the Kickstarter with 4 sketch covers,
Mm,
4 blanks. Cuz I want to do I want to do Tarna on the cover. Sexy women with a flying dinosaur kind of thing.
right.
Then what's that guy with the glasses, with the rim glasses, like half robot? Dune? Was it Dune?
I was
Or
gonna say, are you talking about Waldo?
was was it from Heavy Metal?
No, I was joking around. I'm talking.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah,
Waldo.
yeah, yeah.
But
Then there was another one with I forget. There was a whole bunch of them. I want to do some of those covers, but those ones I got to really plan out and make it really sexy. That's my
right,
thing.
right. So, yeah, no, I didn't know that yeah. I didn't know you weren't aware of this. These blank covers or.
No, 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 no. I'm starting to fill up my my stuff. Hey, Naman, thank you, man. Earlier I opened up the box, the the blanks. So I took your address off there. So thank you for all this, buddy. They look great. I will put some good use to it.
Who is this person? Like,
Huh?
who is this person? Naman?
Naman? Comic book worm right there. He's in the chat.
So I don't see the because I'm only looking at our
What I'm gonna do is later on we're gonna be on the live stream with him when we do the drawn chill. I think this month they're doing the Asian Pacific like meet the artist, kind of like mostly Asian like us, right? May month.
right.
Pacific stuff like that. I mean, he had like John Boy Meyer on. He had a whole bunch of
Oh wow.
yeah, a lot of the image stuff. I'm kind of honored to be part of that list somehow, right? Even though I'm AI, I'm not really Asian, right?
Yeah, but dude, you have quality in your work, so like I always admire the fact. Yeah, no, honestly, like I'm not just saying this, but I always admire your work, your style. Um, you guys definitely are my inspiration when it comes to
thank
doing
you.
my own stuff. Like that's why I don't know if you saw my tagline. Amateur artist, professional pencil pusher, right? So I don't see myself up there, but man, this is still my passion. I love drawing. I love drawing.
Oh, we all do, dude. If I can do this full time, that'd be awesome.
Exactly, but we both know the reality of it is that
yeah,
It's very well. I always tell people because people ask me, "Go, do you work for Marvel?" I go like, "No, I don't." But like, and would I ever consider it? But I go like, well, it's very competitive out there. One thing, and then two, if we both know as well too. Ever since the digital, now that you can get work from across the world, it's harder for sure for any of us in North America.
Well, like um, for $180 per page, let's say,
Mm,
right? $180 US per page will go a long way if I lived in the Philippines or if I lived in, Brazil or something, right?
right.
Compared to $180 here in Canada, or you know what I mean, right? Well,
Well, yeah,
the page rate, right? If you break
right.
it down, and first of all, like if you're an artist and you get sick, you still got to finish the page. It's not like you get a holiday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like we get sick days and we get maternity leaves. We got to grind it out every 20 days, right?
Hmm.
Uh, that's why nobody wants to do interiors anymore, right? I rather do covers too. You know how much work it takes to do interior? I have to read the script, right? Asian AI. Right?
Well,
Yeah, I mean that's I mean we just do what we like. I don't mind doing interiors as long as it is short, 12 pages, 8 pages, even 12 pages is a chore, right? I've been trying to draw the next of the goose one
oh, okay.
for, I don't know, I got the thumbnails down. Now I got to sit down and I really got to blow up the thumbnails and rework the framing. And, as you start drawing, you're like, that's not going to work, right? Because when you draw bigger, it
Right,
becomes,
right.
when you're doing thumbnail, it kind of makes sense at the time. Then when you draw bigger, you're like, oh man, the word balloon's not going to fit there. I'm going to have to think maybe I need an extra panel and stuff. And that becomes a grind for me because um yeah, yeah. Like I like doing the Marvel cards, the stuff because they give me a deadline, right? They give me the deadline and I look at it and I'm like, okay, I have a month and a half to finish this. If I finish this in 2 weeks time,
Hmm.
then I can do other stuff, right? Like Ollie, he does his pipeline is he does all his sketches, he lays them all out, then he
Right.
goes in, then he does all his inking all at once, then he goes in, he pulls out the blue Copic and he does everything that's blue, right?
Right, right.
And then he does the next and the next and the next as he need it, or maybe he just does the one card at a time and just toss it out, right? Me, I have boards, so I do 4 at a time, right? So I prep the board. All my boards are ready to go. I do all my pencils. Then I come in with my microns, do all my microns. Then I take it and I do my markers. So if I have to do all the backgrounds the same, I do all the backgrounds first,
Right.
right? Then I come in and I do each sheet. Once I'm done all 4, then I crack open the acrylic. Then I do a spray or a wash over top. Then that 4 is done. Then I rip off all the tapes, sign the back, make sure everything's there, do the next 4, prep the next 4, next 4, next 4. So I had this thing where I was doing 4 a day, and in 10 days, I would have all 40 cards done.
That's crazy. Like the step process that you just showed me. I don't know. It I've never gone through that myself, so I'm always fascinated when I hear or yeah. What?
are you drawing Sticky Goose?
Or what?
Sticky Goose. There's Larry here is by the way, everybody, just let you know, whoever's still in here, the Niobe campaign, I believe I have the link in the show description, is in late stage pledges. So if you guys are gonna pledge cover C. That is C, as in yeah.
In Canada.
In Canada, there you go. That's the one. I want to win this cover war. I can't. Keith
All right.
Garden covers sold like 30. And I'm only like, what, 12 covers or something?
Oh my gosh.
Even Ben Dunn's got 18 or 20 covers, right?
You guys are beasts, man. I
That's
don't know.
right. They are a beast out there.
No, but it's inspiring. Like I know you can pull off. Fuck, you got this.
That's right.
You got this. You know.
It's so yeah. So okay. So I did Bolton. I wish I did the Saturday one, because in Owen Sound, the guys just killed it, right? Lou was telling me, like, he was just. Did you see his magnets that he did?
No, I haven't. Well, not in person. I think.
Right? Did he show you?
Not in person.
So he's got 4x6. I think it's 4x6 of magnets, but they're
Okay.
all like covers, like key covers. Like Action Comic #1. All these covers, right?
Right.
So it's kind of like one of those things. He was telling me that he can't keep enough in stock, but at the same time, it's almost like an infinite. People are like, "Oh, do you have this cover?" Right? And he's like, "Oh, I gotta write that down. Maybe I'll make a cover." You know
Right.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like Green Lantern, or something. And it's like, oh yeah, I don't, like the Hulk 181. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
one where was it Hulk or
Wolverine.
Wolverine? Yeah.
Yeah.
That everybody wants that cover, but on a magnet, right? So I'm
So,
like,
so that's what he's doing right now. He's doing magnets with like
yeah, he's got a panel, and he's just, they're $5 a pop, and they're just not sitting still. People would come by, oh, I like that cover, because he's got like the manga covers too, for the teens that come in, and for the older adults and stuff like that too. So a lot of that. Oh yeah, I saw one of these comic dealers selling a Action Comic #1, the what do you call it? The facsimile? Yeah.
Sorry?
The facsimile?
Yeah.
He was selling it for $200.
For facsimile?
For a facsimile. I'm like, dude, I can go on eBay and still get it for $4.99. But I guess people don't know, right?
Oh man. I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even gonna comment anymore.
Right. Let's see what else. The one in Bolton, there wasn't that many artists. It was just me and Lou.
Oh really?
That was it. The rest were selling cards. Very little Funko Pop now.
That's good. I am so getting tired of seeing Funko Pops at shows.
Right.
I mean, hey, you know what, people? Yeah, if you love them, good for you. But for me, it's like,
well, it's at the what do you call it? I'm sure if the Funko Pop were selling for $4.99 or $3.99, I think they would have sold. But if you're looking at a Funko Pop and it's $18 to $20, right? I'm sure somebody, I see people walking by it all the time, right? Like, I don't know. I'm not a Funko Pop person, right?
right.
And they're all like now people are sitting with like stacks of the Funko Pop.
Are you doing 'cause my next pop culture show
Mhm.
is I think Angus and Collingwood.
Collingwood, you want to do. Collingwood, you want to do.
Yeah,
I always killed it in Collingwood.
that's what
Collingwood is
somebody.
one of those
Yeah,
where,
somebody said that.
yeah. The first show, believe it or not, I did about $600.
No way.
First show. It never happens. Like first, you know what I mean? First show. It was in the summer, and I'm like, wait, what? That can't be. Second show, I did half that, right?
Hmm.
And but it was consistent. It was always consistent. It was at the Legion Hall, right? It's a
Okay.
weird little spot, but it's there. Angus is a good crowd. It's a lot of what do you call it? Yeah, it's a lot of the locals and stuff,
Okay.
right? Um,
Well, I'm planning on staying over one of the town. I think I'm staying like so. I think which one first? I think Collingwood first, and then Angus.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So after Collingwood, I'm just gonna like drive straight to Angus and stay there
okay,
and until yeah.
yeah. Angus is, I think that'll be his first time in Angus.
Yeah.
I think so. I don't know what Angus is like, but again, anytime the city, the farther away from Toronto, the better it is. Even if you can pull like this whole weekend, I did about $200, right?
Mhm.
And they're all sketch cards, right?
Yeah.
Some like some kid wanted a Jeff the Land Shark or something I did, and
Mhm.
I just gave it to him for $20, right?
Yeah.
Normally I sell it for 35, right?
Right.
And I was like, it's the end of the day, and you just kind of, and you're like, I don't want to carry any of this stuff back. If I can get rid of it, that's great.
Right.
But yeah, that's where I noticed my print sales has dropped dramatically. But that's my first show back, right?
Right.
I'm gonna see the next few shows. Yeah, I want to do some of the shows too. I want to do some of the shows. But Bruce one is, did they respond? I haven't seen them respond. So I guess I gotta fill out. So hi, you can fill out our vendor application from our website if you're interested in being a vendor.
I already paid mine.
Okay.
Like I'm paying. Like I'm set. I paid in full. That's why I'm confused. Why or I don't know. It just seems like you don't know yet how much you're going to be paying.
Well, it doesn't tell you on the website. Like most
Right.
websites will
Right.
tell you how much an artist alley table is.
I think it's around. If I'm remembering correctly, I think it's around $70 now. So they did go up compared to $25 last year. Like everybody was like, yeah. Oh man, it was just nuts. Everybody couldn't believe how much they made that weekend or that day. Um, so it's only one day. That's another thing that I was kind of like skeptical about going like, oh man, it's a 4 hour drive and it's a 1 day show, right? But again, it was just so worth it. Like I had no regrets. Like if the show did suck, then I would have went, man, what a waste of 4 hour drive. But it wasn't.
Have you done the East Coast
Like
out in
Halifax,
like,
Alcon?
yeah, Halifax and stuff? You've done that, right?
No, I haven't. I
I know
applied
like
for it.
you and Mike Ruth and those guys been going out there,
They
right?
have like Hugh recommended it, and Mike and we applied for it, but we didn't get in. So I want to try it. People keep like hyping it up, But yeah, for me, the furthest con for me right now so far just Montreal.
I forgot I bought this.
What? Oh, Hoo acrylic paint set.
It's the I'm assuming this is heavy body paint, right? So usually I buy the fluid acrylic, right?
Okay.
Fluid acrylic means that it comes out very fluid like, right? It's
Right.
very viscous is the term.
Yeah.
With heavy body, it's like painting in oil, it comes out in big thick gooey, you have to use a palette knife kind of stuff,
Right.
right? But with heavy body, I might have to. Normally, when I was buying paint, I always bought the heavy body because that's what you're used to. Then I would have to mix it with a medium to thin it down, right?
Mm.
If you use water on this becomes very like clumpy, washy kind of thing. So you're not supposed to use water with this. You use a medium to thin it, so it becomes very thin. But this is when I discover fluid. Fluid is basically the stuff you get from the craft store.
Right.
It comes out very, watery and all that stuff, and it's very consistent, right? And this is where I wanted to do like paintings and stuff like that too. There's flesh tones here. I didn't know I had flesh tone with a yellow ochre. Right? No.
What you can find
See?
in your
I just found it under my desk. I forgot I had all these.
areas.
I just need to find time. I want to do another painting, like just head-on painting. And I'm thinking of, remember Darkness from Legend?
Yeah.
With Tom Cruise and Tim Curry?
Yeah.
When Tim Curry dressed as the devil?
Yeah.
I want to do a painting of that.
Yeah.
I want to do a complete painting of that.
What about Hellboy?
I've done Hellboy. Did you see that?
Oh yeah. I remember that one. Yeah. Okay.
Right?
That's crazy.
Right? I mean, see, you can see, like, if you look really close, it's very messy, but that is like heavy body paint, right? That is like gucked on paint. So you can see that, right?
Yeah.
You can see my brush and it's just, but when you stand far back, it looks like a painting, right? Like,
right.
no black. It's a lot of blues. A lot of browns, a lot of reds, right? So I used a burnt umber as my bang wash, and I put a yellow and all this other stuff, and it was just building and building and building. I like doing this kind of stuff, right? But I don't have the patience for it sometimes. Like, as you paint, and if you go over a certain spot, if you notice it lifting, that means it hasn't dried completely yet. So once it starts lifting, that means you got to stop what you're doing and let it dry, right? That's what irks me most about painting.
Right.
Is waiting for paint to dry.
Literally. Yeah, and that's why I stick with pencils, man. Just for now, it's like, you know what? I'm a little bit impatient as well too. I like the result of what the pencil can produce.
Yeah, but pencil has that control, right?
Exactly.
The hairdryer, man. Yeah, I know. I got the hairdryer. It's right next to me.
Nice.
I also have the airbrush, right? That's the thing, right?
That's funny.
It's the trying to get this stuff out, right? The letting it naturally dry, it has this really nice, I don't know, it's I like the right here, this is me doing the. It's a nice feel. This here is there's a what do you call it? There's a texture to the paint because of the way I put the paint on, right? There's this, you can feel the bump and the I feel like I use a palette knife, but I didn't use a palette knife. Like, right? It's the little bit of right. It's all the like it's the heavy Bob Ross. Let's beat it.
Happy accident.
Happy accident. Happy accident.
Oh, sorry. Just going back to the. What about Are you VonCon?
Which one?
VonCon.
VonCon? I might go back this year. I don't know. I like every time I go, it's always been a card show for me.
Right.
The guys that are there are Min 10, the trading card guys, the sports card guys. Everybody shows up as a card guy.
Yeah,
all the parents shows up with their kids with their Pokemon box and stuff, cards, and we're kind of standing there trying to sell prints, and nobody's interested.
Right.
The last one, well, I didn't go to the last one, but the previous one was where, remember here, the DJ was yelling at us to keep it down while he's trying to play music really loud.
What?
Were you there? Remember?
I mean, I've been there for the past couple of years, type thing.
I know. Remember that time I was there with Ralph McCoran or whatever his name was from the Star Wars guys.
Right.
Remember when they first time moved into that hall and there was no parking in the parking because all the dealers took up all the parking space and everybody parked on the street and they were getting tickets?
No, I don't recall.
Oh, you didn't see that part? Oh, you run out in the parking lot and there was like people were parking on the side streets and they were getting tickets from the city of Vaughan.
Oh no.
Right? So I think if anything, you got to tell the dealers to park further into the parking lot, like deeper away from every. You know how everybody parked in front of the building, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that's one thing.
Yeah, no, that's another show I know. I'm going to be doing. Right. They have Bret Hart. They have
You
Bret
seem
Hart
to be
coming
doing
to try.
okay with that show. I found it a struggle. I might show up doing the Marvel and DC sketch cards.
Right.
I don't know if that's a big seller, but that's going to be my thing. Is I'm going to do the sketch card stuff there.
Right.
Right. Prints will be a secondary, third kind of thing for me. I'll be lucky if I sold any, unless I lower the price really drastically. And if I do that, I might outsell you, and that's the last thing I want to do. Right?
What do you mean?
Like I can move the print to like $5 and still make a profit. Right. But selling at $15 a print is still pretty good for me. That will, like, the first 10 people or something like that at $15 a print is enough to cover my table, right?
Right.
And gas and all the other stuff. If I do, I just want to get rid of them. I think that's my next thing.
That's your goal.
Yeah, because I do have a lot more digital art that I can print up, like for later on, like when I do a refresh.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to be doing the because my stuff is cardstock, and minimum requirement is 100 to keep it cheap, right?
Right.
And I already got over 30 prints, but my Pokemon, my Pikachu stuff, I can get away with selling it for dirt cheap, right? Oh, that looks great. That looks great.
Oh, thank
There
you.
you go. Your full screen.
Oh.
See?
Yeah, that's my Sinestro.
There you go.
Gotta make him
Perfect timing. Look at that. we're gonna call it, right? It's midnight. You got work to do in the morning.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks for the reminder. I was having fun.
So thank you everybody. Thank you everybody for joining in tonight. We're just hanging around. I'm gonna try to see if I can get Hugh in here for the next run.
Yeah.
Then I'll try to get what's his name? Mike. In between cons, Mike Ruth. Who else can we get? Maybe George. We'll see if George. And I want to get Michael in.
Yeah, Mike Simbahan.
Right. And we'll try to see if we can get some other people too. Right. Maybe a couple of guys from Raid Studios too. Next time I run into them. When's the next Gotham City Bash thing?
So from what I was told, it'll be in June.
In June. Okay.
Yeah, Carlos is just just kind of he's just putting the game plan on right now. He definitely wants to go a lot more bigger. So for anybody that doesn't know anything about that, Gotham Central Gotham Central Comics in Mississauga holds like a little like mini con. Like in the parking lot. And then they have like big tents that house a lot of the artists underneath it. And then outside the tent, he'll have like the wrestling ring.
Yep.
Or he'll have like, I know last year he had like some of the pop culture cards, like the Batmobile.
Yep.
I think the DeLorean was there and so forth, right? But yeah, Carlos always goes all out, and he'll have like barbecue. So it's a summer fest.
So everybody in the chat, if you guys are in the Toronto area in the summer in June, if you guys come up, there's a massive comic shop here near the airport here. It's called Mississauga. Yep. It's called Gotham City Central. He's always winning these awards for the best comic book shop in I guess Ontario. Didn't he win the Eisner one? He won the Eisner.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he won an Eisner for that for one of the shops. So he always hosts these. This is how I found out about the business. He invite us artists and stuff. We do sketch for pledge donations for the Holland Bloor groups, capes for kids, all this other stuff. So he brings out a lot of stuff. I believe Comic Vet lives around the area, so he shows up. He usually invites artists to come do signings and stuff like that. So yeah, if you guys are ever in the area, please drop by. Definitely hit the candy shelves in there because we got some good stuff, right? And you bring the kids, leave them at home because Deadpool and the Ghostbuster ghosts and all that other stuff. It's a fantastic shop. And if you guys are looking for sketch covers and stuff, that's a good one too, right? That's a good shop. I just wish I was living nearby. That's the only thing. It takes me an hour to get to him. Right?
I don't want to spoil it, and I'm not, but like I know he's gonna have some pretty cool pro artists coming for a free comic book day.
Yep. When's that happening?
So free comic book day, it's like I believe that's the first week of May.
First week of May, yeah. I'm gonna be on vacation on that week, so I won't be here. I'll be in Florida, I think. We're doing a family reunion. Yeah, it's expensive, man. We're doing a family reunion. Yeah, big one too. Big family reunion. And we planned this almost like last summer. If we knew what was going on, we would have canceled it. But all the money's already been spent. The hotel's been booked. All this other stuff. Pretty much car rental, everything. So yeah. If you guys are in that area, please come by. Art Victim, you are welcome to jump in on the next stream if you can get. We just draw and we talk about the conventions, what project we're working on. We're just talking about shops, how we do the art, and all the other stuff. So yeah, any other show you gonna be doing?
For me, yeah, I I think my next big one for me. Well, first of all, I'm doing the pop culture show again, like the end of the month,
Yep.
in Collingwood and Angus. And then in April, I believe the big one for me is the Cornwall show, Cape.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was gonna ask you how that was, right?
That was a good show as well too. Mike and I have been going there for the past, I think, 5 years now, and it never fails.
It's a 1 day show, or is it a
It's a weekend, like it's 2 days.
2 days? And you guys get hotels out there?
Yep.
Okay.
So
Okay.
hey, if you ever want to come, we can definitely like share.
Yeah, yeah. If you don't mind me snoring
No,
and
not at
and
all,
stuff,
not at all.
right?
Uh,
I'll,
the
right?
organizers there, they're amazing to work with as well too.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. Any then after that, then we have Niagara Falls, which reminds me, I gotta
Yep.
email James sometime, maybe tomorrow or something like that. Um, I know there's the down in, I think the London Comic Con
Oh
or
yeah,
stuff,
that's
right?
another one I go to. I love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
and that's at the what is it? The RBC Center.
RBC, yeah, RBC Center.
Yeah,
It's just so funny that like whenever when I go into that building, I'm wearing my, because I work for RBC, so I work my RBC T-shirt.
right.
Just a joke, and then I think people think I actually work in that building.
Yeah,
But I don't, obviously.
yeah. I'm gonna have to hit you up on that one because I already have a table there. I just haven't used it because I had the heart attack before.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I pre-booked that kind of stuff.
Wait, are you
Then
talking about
or
like a place to like you want to like share accommodation down there?
yeah, I don't know. I think I use the Wyndham Hotel
Right.
around
Right.
down the street from there. I
Mhm.
usually stay there. It's like $100 a night or something like that,
Right.
right?
Right. Right. Okay. So I thought that's what you meant, but yeah, no, I highly recommend the London.
Yeah, because I gave up my spot. Remember, I had they put me on some sort of pro artists area
Yes.
kind of stuff, and I gave it to Mike, I believe.
Yeah. 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 They brought us upstairs.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what about CK? Are you doing that?
No, because that's on the same weekend as Cornwall.
Oh, okay,
Down
okay.
to me, but unfortunately, yeah, it's on the same weekend.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. There's a bunch of others. Then we have the Hamilton one, which is later in August,
Yes.
right? Is it Hamilton? I forget. One of those shows, anyways. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll talk again next Wednesday. And let's I'm gonna see if I can open up and bring some more people onto the stream. So yeah, thank you much everybody who joined in. Art Victim, you're welcome to join next time. I'll put you I'll give you a link into the shows and stuff like that, and just come on by, right? Even if you don't have a stable connections and stuff, just come in and draw and just talk with us. That's it. Tell us what you're doing and the whole bit. Okay. So yeah, have a good night, everybody. Thanks, Arnold. Thanks, Oliver, for joining in, and thanks everybody in the chat. All right.
Yeah. Thanks again for having me.
Yeah, no worries, man. You're always welcome. All right, guys. I'm going to let's see, click end stream. There we go.